Hello everyone, this is Bobby. Welcome to Your Father's Story. Let's see what kind of shenanigans we can get into today, shall we? What holidays are most significant to our family and why? I was going to say, it doesn't matter if I'm talking about like the family we have now or, you know, our extended family or whatever. I mean, the answer is basically the same. Thanksgiving and Christmas were always huge holidays. I know with my family there was big get-togethers at our aunt's house. They sometimes switched off between, Aunt Joanne and Aunt Janet. We would have huge family get-togethers there. It was always a big deal. It was always nice when we got together with everybody. I do have to say that. Why? I mean, I guess we could talk about the historical significance of it, but really it was a reason for the family to get together and, just converse, and we really didn't do that very often. It was mostly reserved for those kinds of events, and obviously you guys remember the family reunions every summer that we used to have. So yeah, it was generally just Thanksgiving and Christmas. I mean, we'd have get-togethers like my birthday and stuff, and sometimes, occasionally. I don't think we really got together for too many other major holidays. Or not major holidays. 4th of July we did occasionally. My cousin Jeff would get fireworks from out of state and bring them back in, and we'd shoot fireworks off at my Aunt Janet's house. They had a big yard and a big hill. So that was fun times. But other than that, I think that's pretty much it, and really it's, you guys know it's the same for us, Thanksgiving and Christmas are, the big ones that we plan for, and, sometimes we have, Kate's dad and Uncle Mike come over, and, so that's pretty much the extent of the holidays that we really, I mean, obviously, St. Patrick's Day is a big one for Kate, for her corned beef and cabbage, and sometimes we do a little thing for Easter, but that's pretty much it. I don't think there's too many other holidays to expand on. Halloween used to be a big deal, but now we're older, and I don't think you guys were terribly into Halloween that much anyways, especially as you got a little bit older, so, I think that's pretty much it. Where did you hang out as a teenager, and what did you do? Well, Aiden's definitely not going to remember because it didn't exist when he was born. I don't know if Christian remembers. Well, no, he's not going to remember. Because there's a picture of him standing on the hill, and behind him is basically nothing at all. But that hill used to be a giant, woods. It was just like a giant forest. And on the other side of that was a mall called the Pyramid Mall. And there was a store there called the Albany Public, and then later on it became a Price Chopper, and then after the Pyramid Mall came the Wilton Mall, and then a whole bunch of other stuff. So the malls were generally where we hung out, and at that time there was all kinds of stuff to do at the mall. We could go to the arcade, we could go to the various stores, the record stores, the toy stores, and just hang out and do things. And that was the main hangouts. I can't remember too many others at the time. I mean, the Walmarts and Targets became a thing later when I hit like my 20s. But that was pretty much it. I do remember a story. I may have told it before, but I don't remember. I think it was in a Spencer's at the old Pyramid Mall. Me and my friends went there one day, and we were just goofing around. And they had these little balloons that you could hold it, and it would slip through your fingers, and you would like grab it and just do this, whatever. And a couple of my friends started hitting each other with the balloons. and then the balloon burst. And the guy who was running the shop obviously yelled and said, "Who's going to pay for that?" And we just stood there frozen for like, I don't know, it felt like an eternity, but it was probably like, I don't know, 5 minutes. And then the guy finally came back and he lectured us, and I don't even remember really what he said or whatever, but we felt awful about that, and we went home and we scraped up all this change, whatever money we could find. Obviously, we didn't want to tell our parents. And we scraped up all this money, and we went back to the shop, and we brought the money to the guy. I think it was like $1. It's like $1 for this little balloon. Yeah, so we brought him the balloon, or the money for the balloon, and I don't think he even took the money. I think he actually gave us a balloon, just because we were honest and we tried to do the right thing. You know, he was very cool about it. I think we all learned a temporary lesson that day, but so yeah, that's a moment that I like to recall, and you know, doing the right thing is always very important. But yeah, so yeah, we learned a little something that day for a little bit. But yeah, the guy was very cool, and like I said, I don't think he even took the money. I think he just gave us the balloon. You know what? He may have taken the money. He may have taken the money for the balloon, and then he just gave us one. So yeah, the mall was the big place to hang out, and you know, obviously malls at that time were obviously much different than they are now. There was stores everywhere, there was people everywhere. It was the place to be. Not like it is now. Obviously, online shopping has done a number on malls and things like that, but I mean, yeah, the mall was the primary place that we hung out. And yeah, can't really think of anything else. I mean, there was I think the kids, like some of my friends, built like a little skate park in the woods, like a mini one. They built like actually my friends Richie and Tony, I think, and some other friends built a half pipe skate ramp in their backyard. Pretty amazing, actually. I never did go on it because I wasn't that good at skating, but I mean, this doesn't really answer the question, but just a cool thing that they did in their backyard. So they would go there and they would do the half pipe thing. Obviously, skateboarding was a big thing for a little while when I was a kid. I could ride a skateboard, but I couldn't do any major tricks or anything like that. And plus, I didn't have the money to upgrade my skateboard really at all. So, yeah, I think I think those are all the answers that I have to those questions. Was there an area of your life that you neglected that you wish you hadn't? Wow. That is an excellent question, and I don't know that I actually have an answer to that one. I mean, I'm sure there is. I mean, I can talk all day long about, in a perfect world, I wouldn't have dropped out of school, but it was what it was, It's one of those things where I think life needed to happen that way to get to where I am now. Again, I don't endorse that on anybody, but it is what it is. An area of my life that I neglected. I mean, I guess I wish I was in better shape. I did try to I went through periods of my life where I tried to exercise and be in better shape. And, much like with a lot of people, it would work for a while, but then, and then it would go away again. I think that's all I really have to answer that question. I don't think I have anything else. I've talked about, the work ethic that I have and the person that I have, the person that I am and that I've become. It's kind of interesting to me that I kind of learned all that myself, I don't know, I just took inspiration from different things, and it's just who I am as a person. It's who I wanted to be as a person. And I think the man that I am now and the person that I am now is kind of the person that I always wanted to be but never really could be. So I think I'm fortunate in that regard right now. So I'm happy about that. It's not perfect, of course. Depression and anxiety gets in the way, but that's a part of who I am too, so I have to accept it and just, deal with it and move on. No, I can't. Sure, if I thought about it for longer, I could probably come up with something, but, maybe. I know this doesn't really answer the question either, but I kind of wish I wasn't as spoiled as I was as a child. And then again, that kind of led to who I am now too, so it just kind of is what it is. I'm glad that, I learned that in order to get things, you have to work hard, and, I'm glad I just developed that thing that I hate depending on people, and I wanted to do it myself if I could, or if I had to depend on someone else, that I was intent on paying them back, and I didn't like having debts, so, so I guess that's really the only way I can answer that question. I really don't have any better answers for you. I'm sorry. Do you have any advice on how to deal with heartbreak? Much like a lot of things in life, there is no clear-cut answer to that. There's no manual. There's no Google search that can tell you how to deal with heartbreak. The best advice I can give you is just to ride it out. I know that sucks, and I know that, it's not the best advice in the whole world. I mean, occupying yourself is a good thing. Focusing on other things as much as possible. Actually, a lot of people deal with heartbreak by trying not to think about it. And over time, I really kind of forced myself to hone in on it and focus on it as much as possible. I don't know, for me it was just easier that way. And I guess just enveloping all the pain as much as possible just made it eventually go away faster, if that makes any sense. I don't know. You guys may or may not remember that I was engaged at one point. And, that breakup was really tough. And I suffered with that for a long time. A year and a half is, especially when you're in it, can feel like an eternity. But I remember, it hurt for so long. And then I remember one day just feeling like it didn't hurt anymore. It was gone. It was just, I had dealt with it and it was gone, The best advice I could tell you is just to simply ride it out, and, it will get better no matter how bad you may feel at a particular point in time, and no matter how much you may be hurting at any point, it will eventually subside, and it will get easier, and you will deal with it, and you will move on. You will move on to other things, whether, there'll always be another woman, another job, another whatever, everything is a learning experience at the end of the day. So, it may not seem like it in the moment. It's going to feel like forever. It's going to feel like the worst pain you've ever felt. But it does eventually get easier and better. And it does help to have people around that care, even if you don't want them around at that particular point in time. There's nothing wrong with that either, but it doesn't hurt to eventually let somebody in and let them share the pain with you if they're willing to do that. That's always a good thing and very helpful. I think that's really the best advice I can give on that. Well, that was a bit of a depressing and soul-crushing way to end this episode of Your Father's Story, but we are at the end, so thank you all so much for watching, and I very much appreciate it. I appreciate the support on this series. It's picked up a little bit of steam as it's become a regular, show on the channel, and I appreciate that very much. It's good to be able to share this side of me with more people, and I hope people enjoy that and appreciate that, and it's a good thing to be able to expand and round out this side of my show and my channel and my personality and all that stuff. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. Leave a like, subscribe, notifications, and all that stuff. You can go to robertblanchardbooks.com and check out the award-winning Roar of a Dragon series. You can read the first 3 chapters of each book there for free. If you'd like to hear more about them, the Rise of Dragons podcast, wherever you find your favorite podcasts. My Linktree, my Instagram, my Twitter, all Bobby's Roll 2110. Mondays, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the Bloodborne No Blood Vial run. And this past Monday, I revisit the Cleric Beast. After the previous episode, I had to step away because I got some news in the middle of it that kind of irritated the crap out of me, and I couldn't focus after that. And it was just fighting the Cleric Beast was just a bigger mountain to climb after that, so I had to step away and then come back to it. So that's what I'm doing on that. Back in the archives, I have a whole host of playthroughs, Soulsborne playthroughs, challenge playthroughs, so including Elden Ring and Dark Souls 3 and Sekiro and a whole bunch of other stuff. So go check that out if you're interested. Soulsborne Battle to the Death, where I pick 2 random Soulsborne bosses and I pit them against each other, and then I do bios and decide who I think would win. Then you leave your opinions in the comments. So over 100 of those in that playlist for you to check out. The Bobby's World Hunger Games. It's me and my friends in a Hunger Games simulator. Hilarity often ensues, and it's one of our favorite series to revisit. And when a new video comes out, we all look forward to it. So I got to get cracking on one whenever I have time, which is in very short supply these days. So I definitely do have to get moving on that. Wednesdays, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is what you're watching right now, Your Father's Story. So don't really have to explain that one too much. Saturdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is Bobby's Gaming Lounge. It's my weekly live stream where I play games. You guys come in the chat, and we just have a grand old time and just chill out and have fun and, whatever. Last Saturday, I did some GTA 5 shenanigans where I just basically did some random, just ran around and caused chaos all over the city. That's basically what I did. So that was a fun time. I did enjoy that. It's always... There's no shortage of anything you can do in GTA 5. You can just go anywhere in the city and do whatever you want. And also, there's always crap happening around the corner. As a matter of fact, during the live stream, I witnessed a standoff between police and this guy at the hotel is way off. Not even in the city, just outside of the city. And some interesting things happen there. There is actually a chapter in the live stream where you can go and check that out. So, yeah. Fun times. Go check that out. Thank you all so much. We just broke 5,700 subscribers on the channel, so we're still breaking those milestones. I think we had 5,600 a couple weeks ago. So now we're at 5,700. Now we're on the march to 5,800. So that means a lot to me. The channel's still growing. We're still pushing through, still breaking through those milestones, and the channel's growing every single day, and I love it and I appreciate it. And you guys are the basis for that, so thank you so much. It means a lot to me as I'm working my ass off, store manager at my job, and then and keeping this up for you guys and for myself. I love doing it. It's it's hardly work, but at the same time it is work. It's very tiring, but it's very rewarding too. So at the end of the day, that's all that matters. And yeah, so as long as you guys are here for it, I'm gonna keep throwing content at you. And hopefully some of it sticks. So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much, and I appreciate you. I hope everyone has an amazing week. Be well, stay safe, and as always, I'm doing the wrong outro. I did realize that before I started doing the outro, but I have a different outro for the show, so I'm going to scoot this chair this way, and then I'm going to refer you to these videos over here. This video is the one that you watched last week on Your Father's Story. And this video down here, I'm going to let YouTube recommend what video from my channel you should watch next, just based on your interests and whatever you like. Hopefully it picks a good one for you. If it doesn't, I don't know, let me know and I'll do something about it. I'll get the lawyers on it or whatever. I don't know. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. So until next time, it's Bobby's World, and you're all just living in it.